For today's makeup application, we'll be doing a male corrective. My name is Ricky Greenwell, and I'll be working with model Samie. Here I'm just applying a light layer of moisturizer to the skin to make sure that the skin is prepped and ready and prepared for makeup application. Here I'm actually working with two different color foundations. I'm working with a lighter shade foundation for lighter areas and a darker shade foundation for contours. So instead of mixing a straight single color foundation application, I'm actually working in contouring as I'm actually applying my foundation. So I found with picking foundations for Samie, no one color was an ideal match. So my choice was to actually work with two colors, a lighter tone and a darker shade, so that I could actually work with some of my darker recesses to contour the face, and also some lighter colors to bring out those highlighted areas in the face. As I'm working, I'm actually flipping my sponge. One side of the sponge will have my lighter shade foundation, and the other side of my sponge will have my darker foundation. So I'll flip between lighter tones and darker tones as I'm applying my foundation to match the skin. By utilizing a dual tone foundation to apply, you get a more natural appearance to the skin, allowing for those highlights to pop out while the contours are taking place. Here I'm just utilizing the heat from my hands to blend out any product that may have been left behind from the sponge to make sure I don't see any demarcation lines or any imperfections in the makeup application. Within my next step, I'm just applying a little bit of highlight cream to the fall of the brow bone just to accent some natural highlight, while also putting a little bit of color onto the lid itself, something that's going to be a natural tone so that it's not an appearance necessarily of eyeshadow, but just that of a nice even complexion. I'm working with a little bit of under eye concealer to enhance the under eye area, and I'm adding natural highlights across the bridge of the nose, top of the cheeks, and top of the chin, areas that are naturally going to be pushing or receding from the face. And then working in with a little bit of a contour shadow product underneath that line in the jawline, just along the bridge of the nose itself, all working with cream products to give me shape, definition, and contour to the face. Taking time to neutralize any imperfections that I see in the skin, the occasional blemish that may occur. I'm also working with a little bit of shadow product into the hairline just to help give shape and contour to the face. Now I'm working with my sponge, much like I did with my foundation. I'll be flipping my sponge over, one side for highlights, my other side for contours, so that I'm actually working within a clean sponge environment, but making sure that I'm actually blending highlights together and contours together in a natural fashion. It's great working with cream contours and highlights because you're able to actually achieve such a neutral appearance or flawless appearance by being able to blend out your product. Just making sure not to become too muddy with your product as you're working. One of the downfalls in working with Caucasian skin is your product can get muddy. The opposite would be true with when we're dealing with ebony skin, is we already have some natural lowlights within the skin, so you have to be careful of adding too much highlight or too much lighter product, because then the skin can take on an ashy appearance. So what I'm looking for is a nice smooth appearance to the skin that is free of imperfections, the ultimate goal no matter what your skin tone is. Here I'm going ahead and taking in just a eyebrow pencil to define the shape of the eyebrow. I'm kind of trying not to hit the skin as much as I'm trying to drag the product into the hair by just kind of doing a raking or like a little bit of a zigzag motion to define the shape of the brows by defining the hair itself. Now I'm going through and using a brow comb, just a clean comb, to kind of rake out any excess product, also to groom and shape the brows into place so that they are actually falling in a natural growth pattern. Any area that I may have hit the skin a little bit too much, I'm just going in with my highlight cream, seeing that everything is still active or alive at the moment, in the sense that I have not set my foundation yet, so I can go cream to cream product to take away any excess product that may have smudged down onto the lid area. Now I'm just working with a little bit of a highlight just to give definition to that brow bone. Now is the time to set my product. So here I'm using a powder puff that is loaded with some loose powder to make sure that I'm actively setting the face. Here you can see that I'm actually doing a patting and rolling motion, so I'm actually putting product on the skin and rolling it off. And just using a clean powder puff or powder brush to dust off any excess product from the skin. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to enhance the lash line with a white liner just to bring out a little bit of shape and contour to the lid to make Samie's eyes appear slightly larger when he opens his eyes. And then I'm going to go on top of that with just a smidge darker product or just a black liner, just to give a little bit of definition so that I see that little bit of kiss of white line as well as the dark line to define the lid itself. And using the smudging or blending edge to my pencil to make it look like it's a uniform smudge line. The objective with men's eyeliner is not necessarily to make it look like they have eyeliner on, but to give me a little bit of definition to the eyes or shape to the eyes without drawing too much attention. Of course, depending on the perspective, if it's a smaller stage, less product is used, but for a larger stage, you may want to do a larger, less blended line. Now I'm moving to just a little bit of blush color. Here I'm actually using a flat brush to apply a little bit of natural tones or natural color to the cheeks. With a men's makeup application, my objective is not a solid, harsh blush look, but something that's a little bit lighter, a little bit more natural, so that we have some flushness or texture to the cheek. I'm now adding a touch of highlight color and blending it out with my blending brush or my blending sponge. Now I'm moving to the lips. I'm choosing to use a lip pencil to help define the shape of the lips, starting with the bow or cubey portion of the lips, working through and defining the upper lip. And then working on the bottom lip from my outer edge to my center, drawing that center line. Now I'm filling the lip with a light gloss, very loose to no pigmented color. My objective here is to define the lips with definition, something that's going to be a little bit more natural, and I'm also attempting to break the line by asking the talent, or by asking Samie to smudge his lips together. He's breaking up that line, and then I use a tissue to pull off any excess product. Now I'm just using a fat lip pencil to give some color to the lips, and that is in more of a natural men's lip tone. I'm going to once again take my tissue, pull off extra. Now I'm going to use a brush just to go through. This is a clean brush with no real product in it, just to kind of define the lips, to make sure that I'm blending the product into the lip itself so that I have no demarcation lines. And I finish off the look by adding a little bit of mascara, rolling mascara across the top of the lashes, starting with the top lashes, and then raking mascara into the lashes. So here I'm rolling mascara across the top of the lashes, using my spoolie to then push product underneath the lashes themselves. Using a Q-tip to clean up any excess or any areas that I may have hit the skin with. And now we have our completed makeup application. Thank you, Samie. And it's my hope that you learned something with me today. And remember, if you think it's possible, you can make it possible.